In a new lawsuit, Thalia Graves alleges that Diddy and his then bodyguard, Joseph Sherman, drugged, bound, and raped her in the summer of 2001 at the Bad Boy Studios in New York City. Graves, who was 25 years old at the time, says Diddy gave her a glass of wine, and uh, after a few sips, she passed out. Uh, when she woke up, she says she was naked with her hands tied behind her back. And at one point, Graves says she started to scream, and Sherman slammed her head on the pool table. She goes on to describe throwing up during the assault, but Diddy didn't stop. Graves claims the alleged rape was recorded and then sold by Combs as pornography. Now, Sherman denies the allegations. Reps for Diddy have yet to respond. This is one of the more disturbing of the Diddy accusations, and we see and hear so many of them. She spoke at a press conference. I'm going to play the footage, giving you a warning. Again, it's emotional, it's painful, but I want you all to get a sense of what's happening here, and partly because there's so much victim blaming and so much victim hate that sometimes I think it's important. I genuinely think it's important to see the actual victim and to hear their story. Here's her at her press conference.
The internal pain after being sexually assaulted has been incredibly deep and hard to put into words. It goes beyond just physical harm caused by and during the assault. It's a pain that reaches into your very core of who you are and leaving emotional scars that may never fully heal.
This is the first, or not the first, this is the latest in a long string of accusations against Diddy. It's painful. It's hard to hear. And some people are going to say, well, why would she wait this long? I think the thing that people don't understand sometimes is that victims come forward when there's safety. Victims come forward when they feel space to enter the scene. Victims come in when they feel that they have other people standing with them, so that people won't treat them as liars and money grubbers and et cetera, et cetera. Um, Also, sometimes it takes that long to realize what happened to you. Sometimes it takes that long to come to terms with what happened to you. Sometimes it takes that long to feel you'll be believed. Sometimes it takes that long to be safe from the person who harmed you. All of these things are legitimate and common reasons why for people who make these choices. So, rather than doubt them, I like to sort of think more about, you know, the perpetrator here and say, what did the person do to them that is so awful that they're now afraid to live out loud, or live to tell the truth, or to tell their truth, or to more accurately, or to share their pain. I don't think, I'm not sitting here like, why is she waiting now? I'm like, what did he do allegedly that made her get to this place? To me, that's the more appropriate and necessary question at a moment like this. Diddy is currently locked up in Brooklyn, in the same place that they held R. Kelly, same place they held El Chapo, in fact. Um, and there's so much conversation about what's Diddy eating? You know, is Diddy getting a safe meal? Diddy's scared that someone's going to slip him a poison apple. Diddy is not happy with the food. All these things I couldn't care less about. I care about them for prisoners. I care about them for incarcerated people. I don't think prisons like that. I don't think prisons should exist. And I certainly don't think prisons like that should exist. But I don't have any unique outrage for Diddy. As an abolitionist, I have an outrage, but not as a Diddy advocate because I'm not a Diddy advocate. Instead, I'm thinking right now, how are Diddy's children dealing with this? How are Diddy's victims dealing with this? How are Diddy's employees who are and Diddy's artists who are now going to lose big because of Diddy's harmful and violent actions? I'm thinking about all the different layers of harm, from psychological to familial tears to emotional abuse to uh, all of it. Right, is all going to chip away because of what Diddy's done. And so when I think about him, I don't think about his well-being at that level. I think more about the well-being of his victims. Um, and as more people come forward with allegations, I don't know if these are. I don't know what the end game is for them, but I'm glad that people are coming forward. People seem to be struggling to say these truths, but they also feel relieved once they've said them. So I'm grateful that people are coming out. I'm grateful that people are telling the truth. I'm grateful that people are also on the other side of the equation, people like me trying to scramble to figure out how we as a collective society can best deal with the harm that Diddy's caused in ways that are actually restorative, that actually leave this thing better than we found it, and that aren't relying on a punishment or retributive model. But to get any of that, there needs to be accountability, and Diddy does not hold himself accountable for anything that he's done. The one thing that he held himself accountable for was the same thing that he lied about and said this is all BS until the tape popped up. So it's tough. It's tough. But I hope this new accuser has. I wish her nothing but luck and strength and healing the journey.